The number one selling whipped cream product in America is not whipped cream. It is not even close. Its first ingredient is water. Its second ingredient is corn syrup. Its third is high fructose corn syrup. And its fourth is hydrogenated vegetable oil. Cream does not appear until you are 6 ingredients deep, and even then it says contains less than 2%. That product is Cool Whip, and it is in more American refrigerators than any other whip topping on the market. Americans spend over $2 billion a year on whipped cream and whipped toppings, but the vast majority of that money is not buying cream. It is buying water, industrial oil, corn sweeteners, and a carefully engineered illusion designed to look, feel, and taste just close enough to the real thing that most people never flip the tub over. Today, we are flipping every tub over. I spent over 40 hours auditing every major whipped cream and whipped topping brand on the shelf. I pulled every ingredient list. I cross-referenced every label claim. I compared what these companies say on the front of the package to what they are legally required to disclose on the back. 6 brands did not survive the audit, but 3 brands reminded me what real cream is supposed to taste like, and one of them might already be in your grocery store. I spent over 40 hours auditing every brand on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. To understand what happened to whipped cream, you need to understand one number. A gallon of real heavy cream costs a manufacturer roughly $6 to $8. A gallon of hydrogenated palm kernel oil costs under $2. When you are selling hundreds of millions of tubs a year, that difference is not just significant, it is the entire business model. So the industry figured out a formula. Take water. Add hydrogenated vegetable oil for structure. Sweeten it with corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup because real sugar is too expensive. Then add a cocktail of emulsifiers, stabilizers, and gums. Things like polysorbate 60, sorbitan monosterate, xanthan gum, and guar gum to hold the whole thing together in a shape that mimics whipped cream. But here's where it gets clever. Under FDA regulations, specifically 21 CFR Part 131, the term whipped cream has a legal standard of identity. Light whipping cream must contain no less than 30% milk fat. Heavy whipping cream must contain no less than 36% milk fat. If your product does not meet those thresholds, you cannot legally call it whipped cream. So what did the industry do? They invented a new category. They called it whipped topping. And the term whipped topping has no standard of identity, no minimum cream requirement, no minimum fat requirement, no rules at all. You can fill a tub with water, oil, corn syrup, and 14 chemicals, slap a picture of a strawberry on the label, place it right next to real cream in the dairy aisle, and call it a topping. That is not a loophole, that is the business model. The skip list, 6 brands to avoid. Brand 1, Cool Whip, Original. Cool Whip is the best-selling whipped topping in America, owned by Kraft Heinz. It was invented in 1966 by the Bird's Eye division as a frozen, non-dairy creamer. And 60 years later, its formula has gotten worse, not better. The current ingredient list reads water, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated vegetable oil, skim milk, and less than 2% of light cream. The real sugar and real vanilla that the original formula contained are gone, replaced by high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavor. Flip the tub over. Cream is listed 6th, with an asterisk that says less than 2%. You are eating flavored, aerated, sweetened oil. Brand 2, Great Value Frozen Whip Topping. Walmart's store brand is not an alternative to Cool Whip. It is a photocopy. The ingredients are nearly identical. Water, hydrogenated vegetable oil, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, and less than 2% of sugar, sodium caseinate, polysorbate 60, sorbitan monosterate, guar gum, and xanthan gum. Notice what is missing entirely from that list. Cream. There is no cream, not even at less than 2%. Great Value did not just copy the formula. They stripped out the last trace of dairy fat and still put it in the same aisle, at the same shelf height, right next to real whipped cream. Brand 3, Kroger Light Whipped Topping. The word light in a whipped topping is a red flag. Kroger's version starts with water, corn syrup, hydrogenated vegetable oil, and high fructose corn syrup. Light cream appears dead last on the ingredient list after polysorbate 60 and sorbitan monostearate. Light does not mean healthier. It means they whipped more air into less product, added more stabilizers to hold that air in place, and charged you the same price. You are paying for a puffed up version of the same oil and syrup formula with even less substance. Brand 4, Dream Whip. Dream Whip, also owned by Kraft Heinz, takes the concept even further. It is a powder. You mix it with milk and vanilla at home and whip it yourself. The ingredient list of the powder includes sugar, modified palm kernel oil, corn syrup solids, modified cornstarch, propylene glycol monostearate, acetylated monoglycerides, methyl cellulose, mono and diglycerides, sodium silicoaluminate, silicon dioxide, cellulose gel, cellulose gum, and artificial flavor. That is 16 ingredients. 0 of them are cream. You are reconstituting a chemistry set in your kitchen and calling it dessert. Brand 5, True Whip Original. This is the one that frustrates me the most because True Whip markets itself as the natural alternative. The packaging is clean, the branding is wholesome, the word natural is printed in large type. But read the ingredients. Water, tapioca syrup, vegetable oil, palm kernel oil, and coconut oil, cane sugar, tapioca maltodextrin, and less than 2% of light cream, soy lecithin, sodium caseinate, xanthan gum, guar gum, and natural flavors. The primary fat source is still palm kernel oil. Cream is still an afterthought at less than 2%. They swapped high fructose corn syrup for tapioca syrup and called it natural. But the architecture of the product is identical. Water, oil, sweetener, stabilizers. Natural does not mean real. Brand 6, Ready Whip Fat Free. This is the betrayal brand. Ready Whip Original is one of the better mainstream options because cream is its first ingredient. But their fat-free version is a completely different product hiding behind the same trusted name. The fat-free ingredient list reads milk, water, liquid sugar, cream, non-fat milk, maltodextrin, and less than 2% of cellulose gel, mono and diglycerides, cellulose gum, polysorbate 80, carrageenan, and natural flavor. Cream drops from first to fourth with an asterisk that says adds a trivial amount of fat. The label still says made with real cream, and technically that is true. There is cream in the product, but it contributes what the company itself describes as a trivial amount. That is not whipped cream. That is whipped milk with a cream alibi. You do not need a lab to test what is in your whipped topping. You need a plate and 15 minutes. Test 1, the melt test. Take a dollop of your whipped product and place it on a plate at room temperature. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Real whipped cream will deflate and melt into a pool of liquid cream because it is made of fat and air, and both are unstable at room temperature. Fake whipped toppings will hold their shape for hours, sometimes days, because hydrogenated oils and stabilizers do not break down the way real dairy does. If your cream looks the same after 30 minutes, it is not cream. Test 2, the first 3 ingredients test. Flip the container over. Read the first 3 ingredients. If cream is not one of the first 2, the product is a topping, not a cream. Period. Every single brand on our skip list has water or corn syrup as ingredient number 1. Test 3, the ingredient count test. Real whipped cream has 1 to 3 ingredients. Cream, maybe sugar, maybe vanilla. If the ingredient list has more than 7 items, you are not eating food, you are eating a formula. The real list, 3 brands that are actually real cream. Brand 1, Kelowna Supernatural Organic Whipping Cream. Kelowna Supernatural is based in Kelowna, Iowa, and sources exclusively from small family farms committed to organic, pasture-based practices. Their heavy whipping cream has 1 ingredient, organic cream. That is it. no stabilizers, no thickeners, no gums, no emulsifiers. It is also non-homogenized, which means the cream has not been mechanically forced through a filter to break down the fat globules. That gives it a richer, more natural texture that whips up beautifully. You can taste the difference in the first spoonful. Kalona is proof that whipped cream does not need 14 ingredients. It needs 1. And the reason most brands do not do this is not because it is hard. It is because it is expensive. Kalona chose quality over margin, and they have been doing it since they launched. Brand 2, Strauss Family Creamery Organic Heavy Whipping Cream. Strauss Family Creamery has been operating in Northern California since 1994. They were the first certified organic dairy west of the Mississippi. Their heavy whipping cream is 36% milk fat with 1 ingredient, organic cream. No stabilizers, no carrageenan, not ultra-pasteurized. That last point matters because ultra-pasteurization extends shelf life but damages the proteins and flavor of the cream. Strauss chose standard pasteurization, which means a shorter shelf life but a dramatically better product. Their cream is what whipped cream tasted like before the industry decided that shelf life mattered more than taste. If you can find it, buy it. It is the gold standard. Brand 3, Organic Valley Heavy Whipping Cream, pasteurized. If Kalona and Strauss are hard to find in your area, Organic Valley is the brand that makes real cream accessible. They are a farmer-owned cooperative with over 1,600 member farms across the United States, which means their products show up in most major grocery stores. Their pasteurized heavy whipping cream is 40% butterfat with 1 ingredient, organic cream. No stabilizers, no gums, no additives. One important note. Organic Valley also sells an ultra-pasteurized version in nearly identical packaging. That version adds gel-on gum as a stabilizer. You want the pasteurized version. Check the label carefully. Look for the word pasteurized without the ultra prefix. At roughly $4 to $5 for a pint, Organic Valley is the value play. It is real cream, widely available, and competitively priced. This is the accessible option for anyone who wants to stop paying for oil and start paying for cream. Here is the truth. Whipped cream should be one of the simplest products in your grocery store. Cream, maybe sugar, maybe vanilla, that is it. But the industry figured out decades ago that they could replace a $6 ingredient with a $2 one, add a dozen chemicals to fake the texture, call it a topping instead of a cream, and sell it at the same price. And they have been doing it ever since. Your dessert deserves real cream. Your family deserves real cream. And now you know exactly which brands are giving it to you and which ones are selling you flavored oil with a picture of a strawberry on the label. The next time you are in the grocery aisle, flip the tub over. Read the first 3 ingredients. If cream is not at the top, put it back. We tell because you have the right to know the truth. If this video helped you see your grocery store differently, subscribe for more. We audit the products you trust so you do not have to.